And we begin with breaking news out of Fort Worth this morning. A warehouse fire forced a nearby evacuation because of fumes in the air. This is north of downtown at the intersection of 35 West and 820. Megan Mitchell is live at the scene. So Megan, you just spoke to a firefighter in the last 15 minutes. What did they tell you?
Yeah, I actually just spoke to the battalion chief, Kara. Within the last 15 minutes, he tells me there's a number of very good things that we want to tell people here in the Fort Worth area. First one, this fire is out. It was put out in about 20-30 minutes. But second, and possibly more importantly, that evacuation that we initially heard of was actually just a house that was close to the fire that was getting that wind, that smoke into their house. They are not worried about toxic chemicals in this area at this time. But let me bring you through what we know so far. So the chief said that they discovered that there was this big fire in the backside of this building. You can see actually where that smoke is just lightly coming out right now. But when they got on scene, there were heavy flames, heavy fire that was coming out of the back of the building. It took them about 20-30 minutes to put this fire out. They had 2 alarms for this fire. There are a number of fire trucks, at least a dozen, that were here trying to put out this fire. And of course, it is out. I was also able to speak with some of the people that own this building, that work at this company, and they were telling me that they're really sad. They're obviously devastated that this happened, but the good news in this fire is that no one should be worried about those toxic chemicals. I will say, you can smell in the air that pool chemical. It's almost as if there's too much chlorine near a pool. And so that's the one thing you would notice if you're in this area. But the chief battalion does tell me and does reassure me that that is not toxic. These are normal house chemicals that you'd find every day. So with that said, we'll keep an eye on this. I'm going to send it back to you guys in the studio for now.
No, we're glad to hear that, Megan. Thanks for the update. It looks like firefighters were able to get that out pretty quickly. Good news.
Yeah, a lot of good information coming out of there. Let's get over to meteorologist Greg Fields right now. Greg, is there any concern about the wind spreading possible fumes around that area?
Yeah, the winds are going to be light in that area as we get out into Tarrant County. That's going to be just to the north and west of 820 and west of I-35W in those areas. So the winds only at around 5 to 10, but they are out of the west and northwest. So anyone downstream of that area there will maybe have that smell drifting into the area here. So I'll get over to the wall here and kind of pinpoint where the area is where we have that address. It's going to be just to the west of I-35W there, just north of I-820, somewhere in that vicinity. And you see the winds out of the west and northwest in that 5 to 10 mile per hour range. So anyone downstream of that, you may have that smell drifting on into the area. But the winds, again, are going to be very light here at this time. All right. In the meantime, taking you on out to Fair Park, 82 degrees we're looking at right now. The heat index 85. So it is steamy, rain free out there right now. But we are looking at those temperatures in the upper 70s to around 80 degrees. A chance for a few showers and thunderstorms that will be scattered about the area. Have that cluster of storms really starting to weaken across the area out to our north and west. So the remnants of that will serve as the focus for a few more showers and storms. Watching that cluster of storms out across the panhandle, moving into western Oklahoma now, that will impact areas along the Red River a little bit later this morning. So we'll go with about a 30 to 40% coverage with the showers and storms heading into the afternoon, and that high topping out somewhere around 94 a little bit later today.